for the anytime they talk about Switzerland, about French, anytime they write about Mama Salon, now we fall like we self, let we push we say, let we know it we self, let we help we say. Oh no, it no matter who say you there, it no matter what you know you gonna, it no matter what you think, there is no place like home. It no matter who say you there, it no matter what you know you gonna, it no matter what you think, there is no place like home. Come on, we left color and push forward, and it's gonna we continue move forward. Make we left color and push forward. Hey, yeah. It gonna make we continue move forward. No. Now we party talk about new direction. We are make we up a billion vision. Because now we all get for make we home. Hey, we sweet mama salon. Never say you don't be seen there. Never say you don't care there. See that Lord, yeah. No matter how far you must come home one day. No matter how long you take, you must come home one day. It no matter who say you there, it no matter what you know you gonna, it no matter what you think, there is no place like home. It no matter who say you there, it no matter what you know you gonna, it no matter what you think, there is no place like home. Love is what we need, brother. Love is what we need, yeah. Love is what we need, Love is what we need, yeah. But that's not the thing we don't well with, yeah. Don't divide with, don't destroy with, it's mama, yeah. But that's not the thing we don't well with, don't destroy with, don't divide with, yeah. Let we serve, let we push we serve, let we serve, see that we don't well with, that's not the thing we don't well with, yeah. Yeah, we don't flex we serve, yeah, we let we serve. Everybody want to be politician, oh no, let me know, say, we only get one, oh, yeah.
Wow, Fambulan, good evening. How are you doing? What a blast, Independence Day. Honestly, I believe, like many of us, we had such a brilliant time, such a brilliant occasion, despite the take about some people on the independence, which I believe say then they conflate two issues, which is quickly independence has been attained, was a necessity, except you're subservient and you want to be under slavery, colonialism, then of course you go wish for that, for go back at the Yerida language there, and then it tell Yerida me, it can make me blood sort of stir up somehow, because some people just not tend for understand the false dichotomy where they promote, to be honest. People in sweat, blood and tears for that Independence Day, which was an absolute necessity for make we a free people. Now, how we deal with them is another issue altogether. Yes, there are economic woes. Yes, there are huge issues them of structural deficit and the rest of it. We make somehow we struggle so much where people like can sort of veer off and say recolonization. Goodness me. Not even the people who have been colonized you want for even hear that any longer. So please, Lord, left that. Anyway, not to the topic grounded for today. The subject matter for today, ladies and gentlemen, is I about the SLPP-led government under Julius Maada Bio. You know, we don't get them conversation there for quite a while. And most people, and rightfully so, I think, they say, now for give the party a chance, which absolutely necessary. Give the government a chance, not the party, not begin conflict issues. Give the government a chance, and let we see waiting then go be up to, waiting and go bring up how then go run government and the rest of it. And again, like I say, an absolute necessity. But over 1 year now, we still get serious problems. I really mean serious problems, yeah? Let's play one tape quickly.
Dawn of a new era. The people of this great nation have voted for change in a new direction. We are honored and privileged to serve the new government of Sierra Leone. We have only one country, Sierra Leone, and we are all one people.
Okay? That was the raucous shouting of a very enthusiastic crowd, and that was the voice, or is the voice, of the current president of the country, retired Brigadier, His Excellency Julius Maada Bio. I don't know whether I hear the voice clearly, but this is a video or voice will almost we all go down here. It is say that he go be president for the entire Sierra Leone. This is the dawn of a new day, and in government go take a new direction away from the old direction. But then questions are being raised at this particular point in time as to whether the direction that this new government is taking is the right direction. So much so that it has become demonstrably the argument for the day. Any little corner where you pass, both at home and abroad, everyone is asking. And you see, last week and the week before last, we do an issue when I've been popular hit called the Grand Dry. The Grand Dry, now people actually, when they go through motions of difficulties, economic difficulties, which the government may say, the government actually accepts say there are economic difficulties. So let me spell that out. And they ask the people, you know, for be patient, for beer. Because the reason why then they do this, now for set the pace right, for put the economic issue back in place, claiming that at the time when they take over, the economy was a mess, and they are entrusted with bringing the economy up to speed. And then therefore the Sierra Leonean people will have to make the ultimate sacrifice in order for let them find a good living in the end. So make the sacrifice now, go through the pain, like they say, no pain, no gain, and in the end, you go get the gain. But it's taking quite a while, and this is about Motamandem. And since you not spell out how long this will be, people are now asking, openly, why do we have to go through this motion? Why the hard time? And the hard time is so much so that even people that will belong to the ruling class, the ruling party, are equally complaining. You know, sometimes we can argue on the basis of so much cheap politics that while the issues are so real, they are so real, we feel them, we see them on a daily basis. Unfortunately, there are some in denial. Evidently so, ladies and gentlemen, like we asked the question whether the direction where the party they go, where the government they go as he promised, not the right direction. And some people they say, yes, it's still the right direction. Well, you get a right for belief, waiting you want for belief, but on the basis of evidence, let we look whether or not the right direction, and the people that we endorse, according to the president Yeriam earlier on, we give him the democratic mandate for a 5-year parliament, a 5-year period for rule until the next elections, are now openly complaining, and they are making it known. Just yesterday, a huge event na the Siaka Stevens Stadium. Imagine, it was a public holiday. This now so people and they express their resentment against government when they don't agree with you, because obviously there are limited ways in which people can express that, and that in one particular way, and this is quite telling. This is quite, and I sure say some government officials not get good sleep yesterday, and I even want to suppose say the president, because as long as you get conscience and see that kind of thing, you'd expect a packed stadium for people and for go celebrate something. Let we not twist the story upside down, here for make fun out of them, for say, well, now we tell the people and say let them not come, or now we ask for a limited number. No. This now a complete protest, and this we see them. Not so we make them up, or it's not being made up, a scene. And if you not accept, say, this na protest, that the people they tell you completely say the direction where you they go is completely wrong, then you must be living on a different cloud, on a different planet altogether. While we people are completely suffering. They are suffering. We equally ask the question, this suffering here, is it as a consequence of bad planning, bad policies? And you go look so, because the government, they act on the basis of policy, and if the policy not correct, therefore there's going to be a problem where you roll out the policy. Either poor judgment, ill-conceived policy, bad advice, and it make the policy not work at all, because it's ill-conceived in the first place. It's based on bad advice in the first place. It's evidently clear that the people where they advise policy, something is wrong somewhere. And let we look at evidence, hard evidence on potentially why the policy advisors of these days are bad. Would they hear about mass sackings? Mass sackings. And this is really, really bad. You want to justify mass sacking? And people then get a constitutional right, the human right, you deprive them of work and living on the basis of flimsy excuses, on the basis of being suspicious of some event where you not prove. Because for let you accuse, the thing where we the area is where people steal. Well, Uda can justify the stealing, not to the courts. Have you really taken people to court for let people and go justify the stealing there, for let a judge prove, say, yes, indeed, these people stand accused, and therefore, based on the evidence available in front of me or us, they convict them of criminal offense, we make them not liable for get a job or for be fired because they have no clean records. No, it's not been done. Yet people are being fired. In the many. And mind you, a couple of months ago, we equally had a program on this particular show, The Then and Now. And for that program day, we talk about the negative effect based on the policies which the government been approached by then. I mean, it has come for us to talk, true talk, straight talk. We have to create that space where we can have a conversation as a people and as a nation. That if we feel the pinch, why shouldn't we express that? Don't we have the freedom to say that? Why do we mention the word democracy if we don't have the freedom to say that? But going back to the point is, a couple of months ago, we talked about policies. It's like say, now looking gun business. Because, of course, we foresaw these things coming based on hard evidence. Every year, for goodness sake, thank you, Suad Bangura, for sharing the video. And I ask everybody in the forum, for equally share the video. And I know, say, from the beginning of the program, some people and say they want for join the program. In other words, for bring them can live, which I go do as I don't develop my argument more and more. So please permit me. But just a word of caution, because I did do a split screen interview. So if you want for partake pan the interview, make sure say your phone they na the horizontal position. In other words, a landscape position. They are going to bring you in, so you go able for talk. You got more pan this thing here small. And we're not going to give posting them boku time because there's a lot of people already. They ask for request for join the program. So please, Fambule, allow share this. So going back, I mean, they say couple of months ago, we come out with a program saying exactly what is happening now. That based on the policies of the government at the time, it not go born good picking. It go eventually end up being bad. What was it? It's about policy. Government, they operate on the basis of policy. If you not get a well thought out through policy, which is advised based on evidence over a period of time, then it's obvious that in the implementation stage, it's going to be absolutely rubbish. It not going to affect or affect the people where supposedly you do the policy for. It's ill-conceived or will be ill-conceived, as we see evidently so, because it's not working. The state of the economy is still in shambles. The dollar against the leons, of course, two diverse currency them. But of course, the dollar is the trading currency, so we always factor in with we currency. They're on a deep nose dive. So in other words, you don't apply so many policies on that basis and it's not working. Is it not time, sir, that we do an about-face turn and do something that will work? But it's again going to be a difficult and a tall order because of mass sackings. When you do mass sackings on that level, first of all, it is completely wrong. Like I say, on the basis of flimsy excuses or suspicious or the rest of it, yeah, it is the abuse of a human right of this particular people on the basis, just like I say, in a democracy, there is a court system where you get for take people to for prove your point that you are a thief. This is not a small accuse. Yeah, for accuse somebody of being a thief, a collaborator, nick money, deprive government of revenue and the rest of it. But if we haven't done so, and with a mass sack people then, this in itself is a problem. Why do I say this? Let me land with the evidence quickly. These people the way you defire. Okay, somebody they say answer me. I don't know who that and waiting at the question. What is the question, sir? If you can repeat the question again. Joinal Abedin. Why they ask where is your country? Let me just ask you. You can put the answer there. Where is your country? Very much interested for know why you they ask where is your country. Okay, somebody don't make contribution. And this is what we're expecting, by the way. We want to keep the chat room alive. Let's have a conversation. This is a space for conversation. Let's have that conversation. It is our civic duty, our civic rights to do so. Okay? Obviously, what is being said may not go down well with others, but based on evidence, it has to be said. You can disagree with me and make known why you disagree with me. Now, let me go back to the issue of mass sacking. Every year, government spend millions. Hear me out. Every year, government spend millions of dollars on the training of personnel, government personnel. Department of this, ministry of that, this civil servant here and there. Workshops and the rest of it. Send them abroad for polish them up so then go back and go serve the country in a capacity based on experience. Now you will see clearly that over the years that these people will have served, just like when they apply for a job somewhere, you know, say most times they can ask you about experience for the job because this is critical. Very, very critical to the issue. And then you've got little or no experience at all. So when you mass sack these people that you've trained, or governments come and go, but the people remain, the personnel remain. This is why you train people unconditionally, because these people now you citizens you train them for be the engine of government, not only your government, but any government. It's like the replacement that are being made now. These replacements potentially will have to serve other governments, because like I say, governments come and go. Now, if you get rid of people on a mass agenda, you are doing away with experience, which is difficult to replace, because you get for take over another many years again for let you replace them people there where you don't pull with experience. Then people there get for also develop their experience. I had a conversation with a brother somewhere. Thank you, Akinola Cole, for following. I had a conversation with a brother somewhere. And of course, you they try for defend the indefensible. Then what they do, they try for ask me for prove a negative. I don't know of anybody, philosophers and the rest of it, anybody, we don't prove a negative. Probably Donald Trump, but I know say for prove a negative is a negative. So I can't prove a negative. Neither can anyone else. Neither can anyone else. Okay? I use me earpiece. I sure say that they get me loud and clear. So you try then for replace these people gradually. And the brother, while they say, I mean, they have the conversation with, in your position was, it is a necessity. I mean, imagine how flux, how ignorant the conversation coming from the brother, on the basis where una the public can make the judgment, it justify and say it's necessary because these people stand accused. Imagine they stand accused of stealing. Stealing what? From whom? How would you prove this? Not through the court system when somebody stand accused? No, this is not being done. And there are transfers that are being made. Well, transfer is not too bad. But if they pull somebody in a key position as well, they send them to another position, only on the basis of being transferred, where that position they not absolutely they within in domain, within in field, as a public official, where it can serve in another capacity, in that capacity they usa ide more thoroughly, because na some usa you understand and pass on this experience where you get to the others, then you go see and say, well, this is a good one. It's obvious, it's imperative. But it is, if it is for another design, then obviously then there is a problem, and as such, it's not correct, not proper. So government not go don't spend millions, and then we don't train people over many, many years. You go here say people don't serve for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Imagine 30 years of experience, 20 years of experience, 15, even a decade year of experience, or even 5. Sometimes minimum when they ask you about a job, depending on the nature of the job, waiting at your experience. 5 years at most, 3 years at most. But then instead of you gradually replace these people, you are en masse sacking them and replacing them with others. Now there's another side to this, according to story we learned at this desk. In some areas like Nasit, for example, they take personnel then where they care good. Okay? The old personnel still did it good enough because the new one they where they care go. At least then go they learn gradually because they not mass sack nobody from that end day. But you can see say a replacement they come because they don't employ a lot of others. So they are there almost like an understudy. Brilliant. But here is the problem. According to reports, these people are being paid more than the people who they met there. So in other words, the potential trainers of these people, these new people with no experience, they just knew, they just brought them there. Then they pay them more than they pay the people that will get the experience where now then they train these people and for become what eventually they will become potentially their replacements. Now, these are all bad policies that we see. We thumb there on the polls. We know this. We see them, we feel them, we get calls. Both on the ground and abroad. And like I say, spaces are being created through social media where we can have them conversation there about our country, where people then go express themselves in the way exactly as them feel. And people are becoming emboldened. And let me not remember for one say, this not 1930 or 1960 or the 1980s politics. Politics has changed. In other words, the people, they are no longer idiots. No longer idiots. And with the advent of social media, where many governments, they struggle for control because you can't put an outright ban on them because now the means or mode of communication for most people, politically, people may feel aggrieved by issues, whether not political, social, or economic, then use them platform there for communicate. And as then they communicate, and so then they win hundreds and hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of people over. Now so, it's not like how we do the communication now. You get few people and there about 50 people or 40 people. But you get hundreds of others where they watch. And eventually, probably after the tape will have finished, you will get hundreds of others, thousands of others globally. It's got a global reach. Now, so people in the foment come together and form the foundation. Very, very critical. Very, very critical. And this apparently is critical thinking. No other way I can call them. Okay? So People that we want to participate, I mean, make a known to me, and I will bring you on. Yes, Suad, my sister. And within all of this, they are still talking within the scope of corruption. I mean, this is really unbelievable. It's not like a ruse, or fence inside criminal justice. They call it like fencing, where you promote, you promote one side of the thing. You create a fence and allow them for like happen. You ferment them because it in your favor, while you bash the other side. I mean, this is absolutely unforgivable and unacceptable. I supported the president and still do, and we broadcast now for let them make an about face because it's absolutely necessary for the government make an about face because the direction is becoming very, very clear to some of us, if it's not already clear to others, that it is a misdirection. The policies are wrong. The approach on the policies are incorrect. Because in the bear fruits na the ground. The economic policies are not working. The Leon still there in free fall. Auctions and the rest have taken place. It's like a government, where they in tatters, to be honest. Let's be clear about this. The policies are there. You effect the policies and they are not working. Normally what you will have to do is make an about face. Look for expertise in the areas. And let them come and trash out things them, but it takes a while. This is where I've got the issues that I am talking about because, one, again, if you don't fire them people the way government train over a period of time and spend millions of dollars on, every year, even your own government is doing the same thing, training new personnel, but a gradual replacement, not to en masse sacking and replace people with no experience at all. How can they effectively run your government? How can they effectively put out policies which are workable? No, they wouldn't. And this is exactly what some of the problems that people are experiencing in the country is. Most specifically, the economic problem. Leon still in free fall. Yeah, absolutely no control. And the people on the ground are feeling the pinch. That even the pay rise that you give the people in a good way and absolutely necessary, no longer effective because it makes no difference. Inflation there in double digit and rising. Interest rates were looking under. Still people and they determine. So I think the focus for begin going at then side and day, and then we left the distraction of corruption. And let nobody not mistake me. It's not like abandon the corruption probe. No. But the corruption probe don't take so much center stage that bread and butter has been forgotten. And waiting at the people their interest. The govern. What are their interest? Of course, peace and security. Peace and security mean they're able to get food, they're able to get work, they're able to get food and put on a table for letting people eat. If they are not getting this, then of course, in their eyes, the government is not effective. And sir, if by chance any of you will ever listen to this tape, it's about time that we do an about face. It saves face for do an about face now and write things instead of remain aloof and arrogant and decide, say, but I don't say the direction is right, so I will continue with the direction. There is nothing wrong with making an about face turn and effecting policies which are more effective and will have influence on the ground and the people will benefit from it because this is the basic essence of policies. But for the moment, it is wrong. Right. So let me see those who wanted to join the... Yeah, perspective scope. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what I'm saying. The whole thing is based on policies and the policy itself is bad. I need to find somebody that will disagree with this. Of course, no one in their right mind will disagree with this. Even if you've got the strongest of partisanship. Because I speak on a platform of nationhood, on a national platform, speaking, on to the nationals of the country. There are capacities where it's either no policy at all, or the available policy that's been implemented is just simply wrong. And for the benefit of the people, it would be a good thing to make a turnaround and let we begin forget better policy then. This will actually help the people and the ground. And I said earlier on that it is evidently clear that the people don't begin to express their feelings. Smart governments will take note. And they speak specifically to the stadium issue on yesterday, of all occasion, a very auspicious occasion, the national independence. This not disapproval from the people on the direction. It was a clear protest from the people. So government need for take note and hopefully try for turn things around. If you not get this, then it's obvious that the future not a bode well. It not a bode well. Because politics is won on the basis of the sentiments of the people. And then are based on your approach, what you do for them. Whose kind of policies the way you get in place where they affect their lives. Then get clean drinking water, then get electricity, then get telephone lines, they're able to communicate, then get good roads, then get motor car where they fly up and down the street, food they na the place, no angry, and the rest of it. This is what people are looking for, and this is the kind of social contract between the government and the people vis-a-vis the people and the government. Then as such, people behave. You're supposed to behave. You're supposed to go along, support your government. But you can find out clearly, this is an indication, like somebody they say, of exactly what's absolutely happening at the stadium. And this, now, not only a disaster, now catastrophe. I mean, I'm being really serious. Now, real catastrophe. A stadium where in capacity, now over 30,000. I mean, and you could count people yesterday on a very special day as Independence Day. And, of course, if you see cover stand, you know that they cover stand. You know who's in cover stand. So it not be material. We know who side the people them. I mean, the people like in a capital P will be. And at the stand them with the cement gone. But then we'll full up and then go cheer. Just like you saw the inauguration. How happy people were because then they were so upset with the previous government that they seriously wanted a change. And the party now in power capitalize on the grievances of the people and then give Julius Maada Bio the mandate. But over 1 year, because some of us still remain somehow optimistic that hopefully some of these messages, you go get through, and then there will be factually some kind of a turnaround. But it become clearly evident that the disgruntlement, it don't begin. Not till now we begin some time ago. But people, they show some kind of understanding because government appealed to them that you have to be patient. What we inherited was a mess. So we go therefore try for fix them. But in that process, they trying to fix them, it go involve you. So people then go therefore make the hard choices, either for go angry, or if na full bread them they eat half bread. If na 2 cup rice them they eat then cut down. In other words, something like austerity. Not even something like austerity, because of the dire economic constraints, according to the government that they had when they inherited power. But over 1 year, things not seem for to get better. And this is not the thing, because if you were getting better gradually, then of course you've got a case to make. You get things then for points to. To be honest, you get things then for points to. But 1 year on, you don't have. And about one year ago, remember when the president in the ride the high horse, he say this go be a year of hope. Yeah. He cite a couple of things like obviously there were a couple of natural disasters where take place under the previous government, this president say during that 1 year period when it give something like a New Year's message, you may get some things them where it tell the Salon people a year of hope, because natural disaster will not see any. And according to experts, in inverted commas, some of the reasons why they not see natural disasters now because of policies the way this government put in place, like cleaning policies, for example. And it make a lot of sense, because if gutters, sewages were getting clogged up with rubbish, then obviously the water can't find its path. It's obvious that the water will overflow, and depending on the level of rainfall or whosoever the water they come out, a bound for cause disaster. Water a good at the same time a bad. Okay, as soft as it is, it can do real damage, either penetrate or go around whatever obvious thing then with a blocking in path. So as a consequence of that, the government claim no natural disasters, but what we'll be interested in is indeed there were no natural disasters. It also go on for praise the peaceful transition, which is good, because normally in countries, many countries, the transition of power is not normally smooth. In Sierra Leone, despite the heat during the elections, which of course you would expect, two sides, and when they talk about power, you need to understand what's in a power, capital P. We get a smooth transition in the end. The erstwhile president, Ernest Bai Koroma, hand over peacefully to the incoming president. Much hope to the Sierra Leonean people, because the president in message being so sound then, in catchphrase, new direction, it provide real optimism for the people. And the people say, yes, indeed, there is reason for hope. But many, many months on, in other words, over a year, that hope seems to be dashing and dashing really fast, and the people are beginning to say that clearly by virtue of their protest, either verbally or by action. Because when you go down, people and they talk them. I was in Freetown. Of course, it's been a while now. When I say a while, probably about 6 weeks ago, I won't believe. Yeah, I was there. And normally when we go there, I did at all level. I did with them big one them. I did at the middle. I did at the under. And they talk to almost everybody. So I get a feel of a nation. So when I sit down for talk, I want to talk about matters of fact. Somebody said the blame gaming. Well, what will we talk now? We talk facts. So this is not about blame gaming. That's not what we do here. Yeah, so fake news no day. We talk about things which are factual. Obviously, you get right to your opinion, but the public will be we judge. This is not thing where they happen. And as a responsible people, we have to raise our voices so that we government go hear with voice. And if the direction all right, there's nothing wrong, like I say, for change the direction. So I ask you a few questions. How is the economy of the country doing? How is the economy of the country doing? Let me ask you that. Policies that are being enacted or put into place, they definitely don't seem to be working. Probably by your own logic, they are working, and I don't know what is your definition of working. So that's what we are saying. And we've got all right as a people to protest. All right, I repeat, as a people to protest. With our voices, with actions, but within the law. Within the law. So let we understand that and let we spell that clearly. I don't speak here on a partisan basis. I speak here from a national platform and as a national of the country. Not in behalf of anyone else, but in behalf of this channel and the followers, then people that got faith and belief in the things that we say. So it's obvious that the direction is not right, and the president said this, so therefore he's taking a new direction. This now 2018, obviously he just assumed power around April, when he just assumed power. Okay? But within that time day, the hopes were high. The international community then did recognize the country as a champion, so described by the president, and rightfully so, a champion of human capital development, something where the president deeply subscribed to. So yes, indeed, this is not the international community. For add to what the president say, for add to what he say in flagship program of all programs, the mommy and daddy of all programs under this government, which is the free education. Good. He allocated 21% of the GDP just to the education sector. Good. But that is in itself not really enough. But I think we may count on the blessings, or the goodness of we international partner them or donors them. Something I can always frown upon. Yeah, because when it comes to the stage of independence, this nowadays I can get problem with yes, we get with independence. Yes, we effect policy them for we own good, but we cannot use policy them where they effect for we own good for we own people and based on the charity of other people and way not to we. Now ask who they go ask them. Why should we continue to do this 58 years on? Me education policy, me health policy, two things which are most critical to the functioning of a nation will depend on the gratitude, on the goodness, on the philanthropy of another people, the taxpayer money of other people like Great Britain, America, and the rest of it. And sometimes now, they get for dictates to you why you for do certain things or how you for do certain things. So this shows no independence in terms of policy at all because other person get for dictate to you. So probably in the end, it just doesn't work for you because you will understand the feel for you people. Somebody else, they tell you how for do them. It's like you go borrow agriculture money for can affect your agriculture policy. Then give you conditions, say, when I for open your markets to we. And then come and determine the price for your goods. And tell you farmer then, which way they for planting crops and the rest of it. That's absolute nonsense. Now you make we need for avoid all of this rubbish, when you go on. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said enough, and at this I be want to say today, to be honest, I be really want to touch on this issue because this is ongoing, and this is not boding well for the country at all. But just before I sign off, one other issue regarding the political ground as well. Look at the nature of the politics. Sometimes we can talk about and sometimes jokingly so, but the reality of the issue is this. One of the biggest regions of the country, Kabbalah or Falaba, where they split under the APC government. Show me one representative, show me one representative from there. Because somebody been the way manage for make the ruling party make gains inside it. What the representative as we speak? One of the biggest regions in the country. Yeah? One of the biggest thing in the country. So much things than they we need for do. Brother KC, wow, long time, brother. Yeah, it's good to see you on the channel. Thanks, man, and hi to the family. Happy Easter to all. So something really need for happen. I can see somebody. I hope I pronounce your name right. Jumbo Woma Ejaya. I wonder who you talking to. In a conversation at the chat room. Or because I know they follow everything when you go on at the chat room, I just see your own contribution, which is incoherent and pure rubbish. Is it the host you are addressing this to? And if not me, I just want to ask you, what's incoherent and pure rubbish? What is incoherent about what I'm saying and pure rubbish? That is if you're talking to me, because all what I'm saying is based on evidence. Minister Trade and Industry is from Kabbalah. Okay, the Minister of Trade and Industry is for Kabbalah. Yeah. And they talk about parliamentary representation. Again, back I want to go to Jumbo. Thanks for that, but the Minister of Trade and Industry. But they talk about the region, Falaba. Show me the representation. I mean, it's hard for let you construct your government on a fair basis, based on parity. But when you get the region, and then get a representative within lawmaking, the functioning of government, then there's an imbalance. Yeah. And that I may be incorrect about and stand to be corrected. But some brother just put something there, Mr. Yaya or Jaya. Yeah. Ignore the naysayers and continue with your speech. You're on track. Thank you, Santiki Kabo. I mean, sometimes, you can once see the angle this person they come out from. I do know, and thank you very much for your kind words. I do know, because this is a well-researched matter. And show me evidence to the contrary, you wouldn't. So, we person talk, although sometimes you get for ignore, not to alter you the fella, but I go like for taken down. I go really like for taken down, because these now the few people will go come without evidence and just on the basis of partisanship and say this is it. You see black and then you call them white. But this is real. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not take this for a joke, one bit. Let's get back to serious, serious talk. Okay? It's real. And this is about we country. And America, they say, it's a civic right on every one of us. Yeah, Mr. Abubakar Kamara, how you do, brother? Welcome to the program, sir. And again, Lord, don't forget for share this video, please, wide and far. Because we people in need for begin for your read and talk there. Mr. Abbas Fofana, welcome to the program. We people really need for begin for your read and talk there. Mr. Abedi Boateng, welcome. They really need for begin for your read and talk there. It's absolutely necessary for begin for understand how we need for support the government. I'm not talking about pulling the government down. I'm just giving the government heads up that things are not working. This is what I'm doing here. Let nobody not misconstrue, what they say. What they say is strongly happening in the country, and the government sometimes need to be spoken to. Sometimes it comes, from the private side of things, and we the citizens, we the most affected, we have to talk. We have to tell government how we feel, how we see the direction that they are going. And definitely, this direction, as we speak now, is not going in the right direction. It is absolutely going in the wrong direction. Policies are ill-conceived, either not available at all, or when they are not properly thought through, they are not implemented well. It doesn't bode well for the people. It doesn't really affect the people that it is meant to be affecting. Yeah. Now, I don't know whether anyone wants to partake any longer, because I'm about to close the program. I think I've said enough on the issue. But here's my last word, ladies and gentlemen. We owe a national obligation for speak out. I have all reasons to believe that what I've just said is based on factual information. If anyone has anything to the contrary, please let me know. The implementation of policies, the mass sacking of people is really bad. The reason why we need for talk again is because these are net losses for the country. Not for government, because governments come and go. And they talk about the country. And the country by default, I mean the people. It's a net loss for we the people. Yeah? If we not speak up, then there's a likelihood that the government might think that the direction is right, because people are not talking. Ever so more, why is imperative upon us for getting discussion there, for talk about things where the money. The mass sacking should stop, because they go well. Remember, this is key. Governments come and go, but the people remain. So eventually, when government shall have changed hands again, it go turn like a vicious cycle, 3.0, 4.0, depending on the number of elections, where you never see the ending of revenge. Just like how security forces, some part of the security forces can get involved in politics, where the APC government been on well some time ago by involving, soldier man them and policeman them inside politics, bring them inside parliament, and forget say the policeman belong now in quarters to police quarters, and the soldier man belongs to in barracks. So that culture, today they go on. So governments can change, and because some people we're supposed to serve the nation, them is so loyal to the government of the day instead of the people, and they talk about security forces, they end up being under attack from the people. they end up being under attack from the people. So when the government change, and the same thing most likely go happen in terms of revenge. Where I know they call for at all, I just they raise the issue where now a likelihood. Because it's not like you let go of other people them, we belong to other people them, and then you bring in yours. So when you go, because you not get for go with yours, these are public servants in effect now. But with that government they come, they want to replace them back with your own people that we been go. Can you imagine? That's what I mean by net loss for we people. The actions they are get for stop. We get for show political maturity in what we do, how we do what we do. Other than that, we just a laughing stock to we so-called international friends. Other countries then they watch we. Yes, with politics don't try, it don't come of age with the whole elections there now, like I talk about peaceful transition of power, democratic elections, people then go vote and the rest of it. But there's so much more to do. And these are not impossible factors. These are things that can be done. But we gradually need for the build on them. 5-year parliament is not even enough for let a president carry out a mandate, in program them we go and carry out. Not too long ago, at the wait, I did do research on something where the president talk about again when in agriculture program. I read thoroughly about inside the manifesto, and it's really ambitious and it sounds so good on pen and paper. But I'm still waiting for the action, so I still deep and research on them. We'll talk about Bondapi rice farm. There were two of them. We talk about, really good. So we wait for let them be affected because he said that will save we hundreds of millions of dollars that would spend on the importation of rice. Imagine that money they stayed in the country. But I say, like on pen and paper, that's good, but we are waiting for that policy there to be effected so that can provide job for we people. You see, to talk the talk is simple. To act the act is harder. So when you're not in government, like what they do now, I'm not in government, so I'm talking, and some things them I can acknowledge they are really difficult. But they have to be well thought through, and there has to be some reasons, you forget faith. Due diligence has to be done. Not to half-bake or no intention at all. It has to be well thought through. Other than that, it's absolutely bound for failure, sometimes even long before it is born. Ladies and gentlemen, we 58th anniversary. Again, there's not much to talk about. There's so much confusion that come out from the gun, whether the Independence Day will be celebrated, whether it wouldn't be, who celebrated what at the stadium, the First Lady champion that cause day. Was he a snub to the First Lady? Or was it a snub to the government? Was this a snub, to policies of the government? But we do know, one thing we do know, is this not a complete protest from the people of Sierra Leone, that the government is not going in the right direction. And so therefore, that direction they will need to be changed. IMF don't approve the new loan. Well, of course, we've been talking this back, say, it take a while. Sometimes the government, they take 10 months where it just kind of power for let money begin for flowing. So you can see, say, things they change gradually for the new government, because the first 6 months, it was all talk because they may get for meet some thresholds, they may get for meet some benchmarks, because there are conditions set by our international donors, and we get for meet them one and day. So that first 6 months, that's what they were going about. 8 months. 10 months on, money don't begin to come out. 11 months, 12 months, of course, money they don't begin to come out. So this could be the litmus test, as the money then they don't begin to come. Not all about Juba Bridge. Let me commend the government for that. But we know say these were actions, that were in the pipe, that were in the making. They could not say money being diverted from the Juba Bridge for help ease the traffic congestion. So, but now work will be there in the pipeline. I think about $3 million where the Chinese government been giving for that bridge day and divert them elsewhere for help ease congestion. Government using it at the time. So whilst then they self been under construction, but been there under waste of time. But eventually, this government come and finish the work, and the people benefit from out of them. But that's not what I'm talking about. In about 16 months, 24 months, we go able for begin make proper judgment on policies owned, conceived by this government, as we don't begin to do now. The economy, how do we get grip of this? We don't auction, we don't buy, we don't sell, it don't work. We're still there on the bad side of things. Mr. President, it's time to do an about-face turn, sir. If it's not working, there is nothing wrong with doing an about-face turn. And on this note, Famulem, I want to tell you now all plenty thank you, okay, for tuning in to the Then and Now. The Then and Now na una yon very station usai fake news no get no foot na ya. Usai, if you want to read factual news, I encourage you for come and listen to what you will say. All what you say now, we stand by them. The records day, almost like being repetitive, because some people just they join back. So now make they go over that. But of course, this program effectively, I want to come to an end. Happy 58th anniversary celebration. Yeah, it's belated now. It's just one day beginning for the 59. We probably we go don't do better, and when we meet again, we go talk something more hopeful, more optimism go there in with the people. But for now, there's a dire need for a change, so that we people at least go get something for smile about. I want to thank you very much for listening. God bless we the people, and God bless the country, Sierra Leone. Thank you so much.
Because now we all get for make we home. Hey, we sweet mama salon. Never say you not be there. Never say you not care. See that no matter how far you must come one day. No matter how long you take, you must come one day. No matter who say you there, no matter what you know you gonna. No matter what you think, there is no place like home. No matter who say you there, no matter what you know you gonna. No matter what you think, there is no place like home. Love is what we need, yeah. Brother, love is what we need, yeah, yeah. Love is what we need, yeah. Love is what we need, yeah. But that's not the thing we don't want we, yeah. Don't divide we, don't destroy we, yeah, mama, yeah. But that's not the thing we don't want we, don't destroy we.